Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's Wednesday and time for Q&A. And today's question is, how can I clear my brain fog? Now, brain fog is one of those symptoms that pretty much everyone experiencing fatigue, chronic fatigue, post-COVID, burnout experience. And what does it mean if someone here is listening that has never experienced that? Well, it's sort of like the brain not working. It's a kind of experience where you walk into a room and you're standing there and you're like, what am I doing here? I know I came to do something, but you cannot for the life of you figure out what it is. Hey, Matilda. And imagine that happening all the time. And having that experience of, you know that your brain is capable of things, you know that you know things, but you cannot access them. It's like you're sending commands to the brain, but the brain isn't responding. I remember I used to think like I had porridge in my brain. Like it's not working. There's just porridge up there. And one of the consequences that can happen is that when you're reading, you realize that you're reading, but you don't understand what you're reading. You're maybe watching a show on TV or a movie and you have a hard time following the thread. Like you don't really remember what just happened. And you're having a hard time following along. And there's no cure for this. It would be nice to say, just take this pill, eat this way, or do this meditation and you'll clear the fog. I'm sorry, but there isn't. So what do we do when we have this and we want to get better? We want our brain to start working. Now, the body is wise. So sometimes I think that it doesn't do things for no reason, right? So what answers do you receive if you ask the brain, what is the purpose of this shutdown? What is it you're trying to tell me? For me, it was the need to slow down, the need to not have 100 things going on in my mind at the same time. Thinking about, okay, so, I need to do the laundry. What are we going to have for dinner? And tomorrow my kids are doing this, so I need to pack these things. And then it's so-and-so's birthday in a few days. All right, I need to, constantly having that list in my brain. And let's see, I need to put my glasses on because I made some notes of what I wanted to share with you. And the other thing that was a very clear message for me was you need to get out of your head and into your body. And by that, I mean starting to listen to my body. And I could argue I was already doing that because I was listening to my body every single day. I was paying attention to, okay, so do I have pain? Where do I have pain? How much is it? What symptoms do I have right now? It's not that kind of listening. It's the kind of listening where your body is showing you, I'm hungry, I need to eat. It's showing you, I need to eat, and what does the body need to eat? When it's telling you, I need to rest right now. When it's telling you, ooh, that person, I need to stay away from that person. I can't put my finger on it, but it just doesn't vibe right for me. Or maybe you've been in an experience walking out late at night and you just have this feeling that I need to go that way. And you don't know, maybe there is a guy that was going to assault you or something on the other way. But the body's constantly sending us messages. And that was a big key for me. And that's something that I work a lot with my clients, is learning to listen to the body and learning to listen to these signals and understand them. And how does the body communicate? Well, the body communicates through sensations, and sensations can be feeling cold, feeling hot, feeling constricted, feeling spacious, feeling like there's tingling, feeling heavy, light. There are so many words to describe these sensations. And this is not something that we're taught, or many of us are taught to do while growing up, to listen to our body in that way. Our bodies might also communicate with emotions. And another piece with this is, I love the word emotions, because to me it means energy and motion. And when we don't allow the emotions to move like energy, they will get stuck. And they will create stuckness in our body, and they might sometimes even create stuckness in the brain, like, for example, brain fog. And so what do we do then? Well, first we need to look at, what do we think about emotions? What thoughts do we have around them? Do we believe that certain emotions are good and certain emotions are bad? I grew up believing that. I grew up believing that happiness was the way to go, right? And being sad was not something good. Maybe you've heard like, oh, don't cry if you hurt yourself or something. That's telling you, okay, so sadness is a bad emotion. So that's the first step, becoming aware of what beliefs we have around emotions. And the second is learning to allow the emotions to move through us. So imagine that you're feeling sad, allowing that to be felt in the body, asking yourself, what am I feeling in my body when I feel sadness? And just paying attention to how that moves through our body. And also doing the same thing with happiness, because if we've been taught that happiness is a good emotion, then we might try to hold on to it. And that's also a form of stuckness. And so learning to allow joy to be this energy that moves through us instead of trying to control it and trying to hold on to it. I love this. There was this man called Björn Lindeblad here in Sweden. He had this inscription in his wedding ring that says, "This too shall pass." And what he meant by that was living with everything, with the awareness that nothing is constant. Everything changes. And so even the brain fog. And earlier today I was talking about, that tendency to focus on symptoms, to focus on, okay, so do I feel pain today? Where do I feel pain? The same thing is, do I have brain fog? What's going on? Trying to focus and understand it. The trick here is to focus your awareness on things that are pleasant, things that you want to do, things that bring you joy in life, instead of focusing on the problems, right? Because what we focus on grows. And if we keep focusing on brain fog like I used to do, I wrote down so many times trying to explain brain fog. And that wasn't very helpful to me. And that can be frustrating as well, especially if you're in this situation where you experience people don't understand what I'm going through. Where you have this experience where someone says, oh, I'm tired too, right? And you feel like, you might be tired, but are you really this tired? then of course you want to be able to explain things to people. But that can actually be causing more problems for you. It can be heightening and increasing the symptoms, increasing the brain fog. Let's see. Right. There was something else I wrote down here, but I don't think I'm going to share that right now. What I am going to share is that I've been here for a year, and I am celebrating that today. I think it's amazing that this year has just flown by. And so I want to celebrate that by giving away a free session. So if you are interested in receiving that free session, you can either send me a DM or put in the comments 1 year, and I will get back to you on that. Another thing that I want to share with you today is that I will be changing the language that I use on this live Q&A. From next week, I will be having this Q&A in Swedish. And this has been a process for me. But yes, I am taking that step. So from next week, it's a live Q&A in Swedish. And if you have questions, send them to me and I will address them. And if you do speak Swedish, and I'm gonna move to Swedish now, så har jag en föreläsning där jag kommer att dela min resa. Jag kommer att dela de verktygen som jag har använt mig av och de verktygen som jag använder med mina klienter. Och så kommer det även finnas tid för frågor. Så du är varmt välkommen onsdag den 18 september. Det är om en vecka klockan 10:30 på förmiddagen. Och kan du inte vara med på den tiden så kommer jag att spela in föreläsningen och så kommer du få en kopia. Men vill du ha den kopian så behöver du anmäla dig. Och hur gör man det? Jo, man går över till länken i min bio och så finns det en knapp där man kan anmäla sig. Okej, ta hand om dig och mycket kärlek till dig och önskan om en klartänkt hjärna.